Hey everyone, it's pretty late and I just thought about that I wanted to make a video and talk about a couple things that have kind of been on my mind lately. Just got done, literally this morning finishing up a 10-page turn paper, turn-in that I spent like all day and all night working on. So lately I am now a senior in college and this semester has been pretty rough for me, and I wanted to kind of talk about senioritis and burnout, because I think it's important to kind of talk about these things and kind of, I guess, vent my own feelings and how I'm handling it all. Um, yeah, and I think it's, for me, my burnout is compounded kind of by basically pretty much two things. And firstly, that is that when I got to college, I basically always had the idea that I wanted to go off and I wanted to be a professor. I wanted to go teach Japanese history. That was always my passion. I was going to go to grad school, get a PhD. And that was, when I got to college around 2018, when I graduated high school. And that was my plan. And I worked really hard. And when I started going to college, I was working full time, trying to get my associates so I could then transfer to my current university, which I got into study. But then when I got here, and I was still working really hard and whatnot, I had slowly learned, especially talking to my professors and my advisor, and their opinions mean a lot to me, and especially some of my professors, which I've grown really close to and are mentors to me. And I learned that there really wasn't a job market that would be worth it to kind of put it all together, right? That I would be investing another 2 years minimum in my master's, and then another 4 to 5 years for my PhD, for the chance of maybe getting a job, right? Compound that with the recent developments in America's political system and the cutting to the humanities and liberal arts, kind of just stamped the nail in the coffin for me there, which has been pretty unmotivating, to say the least, in an already pretty dim situation. And secondly, I recently took my my bachelor's thesis that I did, Japanese history, and I did really well on it, and I worked really hard. I'd basically been working on it for over a year, which you have 3 years, or not 3 months to do it. But I had come up with my topic in a previous class last year. So I had already been thinking about it and formulating it in my head and doing research. And then I took a study abroad trip to Japan where I got my hands on a whole bunch of primary sources and whatnot. And I did really well. I'm pretty sure I did the best in my class, amongst some amazing topics that my colleagues had. But I think that I'm not too my own horn. I performed the best in terms of what my paper was. And I'm very proud of it. And once I did that, again, I kind of lost more. That was the peak. I had been working so hard for that, because to me that was validation. That was that, okay, I want to do this so I can show I can play with the big dogs, that I can write a really good piece of original scholarship that says something meaningful, even if it's only a bachelor's and no one's ever going to read it, but that was my idea. And now that I'm finishing up and I'm on my last couple classes that don't really mean anything, I'm very unmotivated, and it's been really affecting me. And this is normal. And I did really well and do really well. This is kind of an outlier in terms of academic performance for myself, where my grades aren't spectacular this semester, but that that these things happen to, even to good students, even to their quote unquote good students. I think everyone's a good student in their own right. I'm good in some fields that you guys might be far better at me. Or that I'm good in some areas and you guys might be inventors, and you might guys even watching this might be better at my own field than I am. You know, um, but yeah, this is normal, and I want you guys to kind of know about that. And I kind of want to talk about it because I see a lot of stuff, especially on academic YouTubers, who talk a lot about productivity. You know, um, I wake up at this time and I make food and I do my laundry and I go to the gym and I sit down for my 8 hour study session. Yeah, okay. Um, that's that's not realistic at all. I know no one in my everyday life, even among some of my even more academically accomplished colleagues, that do that. I mean, I sat with one of my professors who was talking about it, and he says that like all he wants to do in his spare time is play Crusader Kings 2. That's Yeah, this guy is not. This guy's written great, great scholarship. Some of the best papers I've read, and I really admire his work. And in his spare, he is not doing his 12-hour academic kind of thing, right? And that stuff just isn't practical. And I don't think it. Not saying that living a healthy lifestyle is bad, but I think that sometimes they take it a little bit too far to kind of idolize this this lifestyle. And I think that might reflect on some people, that they might think that because they're not doing that, that they're going to fall behind and that things aren't going to work and that they need to be doing this, even though it might not work for them. But in some cases, it might. You might be really applicable to that kind of lifestyle. I'm not, and I just wanted to kind of talk and to say that. So it's okay to have these feelings. And sometimes, even when you really want to, it's hard. It's so hard to want to push through those feelings. God, I'm feeling that bad right now. And I'm hoping that the next semester, which should be my last one, will be a little bit better because I'm taking some markedly different classes than what I am now, since I'm done with my degree and my minor. But yeah, so I just thought I'd ramble on a little bit and whatnot. Thank you guys so much for coming here to talk. Yeah, hopefully there'll be more videos like this. That'll probably just be me ramble out things I come up with. I think I'd like to, in the next video, talk about what my bachelor's thesis was on and kind of my area of expertise when it comes to Japanese history and whatnot. So yeah, stay tuned and have a great night, guys.